ho! Merry almost Christmas. Yes, it's that time of year again, full of festivities and merriment and some very awkward questions. But never fear, for I am going to answer some of those tricky Christmas questions. Question 1. How does Father Christmas get round the world in one night? Magic. And we're done. Magic used to be an acceptable answer for pretty much every Christmas question going. But if your little one has passed that phase and needs a slightly more in-depth answer, you could try telling them all about the different time zones around the world and that Christmas doesn't happen at exactly the same split second everywhere. There's a really handy website which I will put the link to below, which is like a tracker that follows Santa's sleigh all around the world on Christmas Eve, so they can see just how much time he has on his hands. 2. Is Santa real? Only you can decide when the time is right to break the news about the big man to your little ones. I mean, if they're like 27, time to burst the bubble. But if you want to keep the magic alive a little bit longer but you don't feel comfortable outright lying about it, then try answering that question with another question. So you could say, well, what do you think? Or, well then, who brings the presents on Christmas Eve? That sounds like a lot of work, and do you think Mummy and Daddy have the time to be doing that? Chances are most kids who are asking this question really want the answer to be yes, so if you can give them a little bit of misdirection, they'll probably just accept it. If they really keep banging on about it, you're gonna have to choose lie or come clean. 3. How does he know if I'm naughty or nice? I tell him. You can absolutely say that you have a hotline to the big man. It can work a treat for encouraging good behaviour right from about March. Alternatively, you can say something like he has a magic globe and he checks in on you from time to time. Lots of people do the whole elf on the shelf thing where you have an elf in your home who then reports back to Santa on your behaviour. I thought this was a brilliant, wonderful, magical idea until I saw the creepy little thing. I am not having that in my house. We have used an app for the past few years, which again I will link to below. It's called Portable North Pole, and you can pay for certain videos, but I think there are free ones on there, which is what we've used. And that gives a bit of a fudge of light. He has a magic book where just your name and your good and bad deeds just magically appear as and when you do them. But also he's got some sort of high-tech lab thing. I mean, Santa's a powerful guy. He knows. 4. We don't have a chimney. How is Santa gonna get in our house? Who the heck came up with the idea that Santa Claus comes down a chimney? Really? Why can't he come through a door? Every house has got doors. Answer that we have gone with is that Father Christmas has a magic key that allows him to get into every door to the children's houses. Sounds a little bit dodgy now I say it out loud. I have seen people make actual keys, or I think you can even buy them, that you can hang outside the door on Christmas Eve saying, you know, please come in, Santa. I've just left it to their imaginations, and they seem to have accepted it so far. Question 5. When you took me to visit Santa in the grotto, was that the real Santa? We take the kids to see Santa. The school has a Santa that comes to visit. A playgroup has a Santa that comes to visit. You see Santa about 10 different times walking through the city centre. That's a lot of Santas. So you can try the line that the real Santa is very busy in the North Pole, and so he has lots of Santa helpers that come around to meet the children, make sure whether they're being naughty or nice, make sure that he's got the right present for them on the list. And sometimes when the real Santa gets a break, he comes in and he goes into one of those grottos. So it could be that the Santa that we saw was the real Santa. I think it was real. Question 6. How come I've seen you buy my toys? I don't know about you, but sometimes I have been out in the shops, I have my children with me, but we see a present and I buy it there and then in front of them. I haven't necessarily got time to go child-free shopping, especially when they were littler and they were with me all the time. What do you want? The line that I have taken and that they seem to have bought so far is that sometimes I buy the present and then I send it to the North Pole and Father Christmas brings it on Christmas Eve. This also helps explain why boxes keep arriving at the house and also how presents from other relatives arrive under the tree on Christmas Eve. We've all sent them off, Santa's brought them back. Question 7. Can I have, insert expensive present here, for Christmas? Because surely Father Christmas is magic and he can make anything in his workshop with his elves. He can bring me a gold-plated train set if I want one. There are a few ways that you can tackle this. Some people will say that Santa only brings you one of your presents and the stuff maybe that's in your stocking, and Mummy and Daddy bring you everything else. and what you're asking for is expensive and we can't afford it. Some people say that Santa brings all the presents but that we have to send him the money. Or some people say that Santa's buying toys for every single child in the world and that one's a little bit expensive. Whatever you go for, if you find that your child is really disappointed come Christmas morning and they haven't got that magical flying unicorn that they really, really wanted, one thing you can try is maybe a letter from Santa acknowledging that they're disappointed, explaining that you know they've been really, really good and they deserve to have everything that they want, but that it just wasn't possible and maybe it was a bit too much to ask for. There is a template of something like this on Scary Mummy's website, which was beautifully written, and I will link to that below as well. Number 8. How do reindeers fly? Magic. In this case, that is actually the only possible answer. One thing that's quite a sweet little activity to do is to put out reindeer food for the reindeer. We did this one year and we had put glitter in with some oats. Don't do that. Turns out, luckily we did see this before we put it out on the lawn, that it's not a very good idea because birds and other little creatures come and eat it and they're eating glitter, which is not ideal food, little bits of plastic in their tiny little birdie bodies. So by all means make reindeer food that is like uncooked porridge oats and maybe some sunflower seeds because reindeers love sunflower seeds, but lay off the glitter. 9. Why do we leave Santa whiskey? I mean, it's a reasonable question. If he has a little tot of whiskey at every single house, he is not going to be flying that sleigh straight. So maybe give Santa a little glass of milk, a little cup of tea with his mince pie. And question 10. What are the reindeers' names? Mummy doesn't know everything, okay? If you have other awkward questions your children have asked, or if you have any answers that I haven't covered here, please do, as always, comment below. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please press like, please subscribe to see more, and I'll see you very soon. Merry Christmas, bye!